Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Aruturi. I started the series last week after my wedding anniversary that I titled Matters of the Mind. I felt like it was time for me to start discussing on some certain topics that people were not comfortable sharing. November 25th to December the 10th was Gender-Based Violence Month, Awareness Month. So I discussed about signs to look out for in an abusive partner. But this week I'll be talking about something entirely different, which I have titled Dealing with Arguments in Marriage. I posted a questionnaire last week, 2 weeks ago, asking for any aching topic anyone wanted to discuss about, and this were one of the topics I got in my DM. So the first thing I'll be talking about right now is communicating with rationale. Arguments are inevitable in marriage. Even if it happened that you marry your best friend that you had dated for 20 years, there is no way you can completely rule out an argument in marriage. Besides, whoever you're married to was not born by your parents, and even if they were born by your parents, I believe most of us, or majority of us, still have one or two arguments here and there with our siblings. So how much more somebody else who was not born by your parents? You guys are coming from different backgrounds. You guys have different value system, different lifestyles. You are raised in different environments. So once or twice or once in a while in the marriage, an argument is bound to come in. So dealing with it the right way is what I'll be discussing about today. The first thing I'll be talking about will be communicating with rationale. The reason I talked about communicating with rationale is having a conversation and a reason as to why you want that, or why the other person wants that, or how is it supposed to be, or why are you doing it this way. For instance, I talked about how a lot of women don't like to cook. In their nature, I had this friend that told me that she doesn't like the kitchen activities, not because of anything, but because of the fact that while she was younger, her father was this kind of person that always likes to host. Not disregarding the fact that you like to host, but who are those going to be making this food? Do you know if they like it? So she said every weekend in her house, in fact, almost every day, there's always one party going on. There's always one celebration going on. They always had something new to cook, and they're cooking all those things in large quantities. So because of all of this, she said she hated the kitchen because she felt like cooking was slavery, more like she was being enslaved to entertain all those people. So because of that, she just doesn't want to enter the kitchen. She does not enjoy whatever it is that goes on in the kitchen, because if she feels like she's been a chef for such a long time against her own wish. So that's her. So if it happens that this kind of person now gets married to a man who is a foodie, I feel these things can be handled. All you guys need to do is, since you don't like to cook, get a food vendor. They make the food for you, and voila, everyone is happy again. So now let's assume that she told me this, right? And her husband is not aware that this is the reason why she does not like to enter the kitchen, right? Now they start having a problem with it. Let's say the husband is the kind of person that likes variety, the spice of life, by the way, that like varieties. And let's say he eats egusi soup today, or he eats pasta today. Tomorrow he wants to eat something entirely different. And she is like, but we have food in the fridge. And he's like, but I ate that yesterday. I don't want to eat that again today. So I feel like they need to come to a junction where they have a conversation, sit down together and tell him, listen, I don't like to cook because this is the reason why I don't like to cook. I felt like I've been enslaved in my parents' house for such a long time, and I see anything that has to do with kitchen work now like, modern day slavery. There are other ways. If it's a caring partner, or if it's a partner that wants the growth of the family or wants to rule out that kind of argument, we can say, okay, how do we remedy the fact that you don't like to cook and I love to cook? It's simple. Get a food vendor. You can tell the food vendor, like, okay, this week, make 3 different types of soups for us, or make 3 different types of rice for us. You have coconut rice, you have jollof rice, you have fried rice, you have spicy rice, you have local rice. It's a lot of varieties I see right now on social media. Having all of these things in place can reduce those kind of arguments. So that's what I mean when I say having a communication, a healthy communication with rationale. I understand that while this communication is going on, a lot of other things can come up, right? But having a communication, first of all, I feel like is a big one, so that way everybody's in the point where we can all sit down together and be happy again. It's like me accepting your flaws and you accepting my flaws, and we get to a junction where we are able to balance it together, manage it together, and everyone is happy again. The second thing I'll be talking about today is listening carefully and asking for explanation if you are not clear. I'll be saying all of these things with life examples. For instance, right, a man, as maybe he has been a bachelor for such a long time, and he goes golfing with his friends, or going to play football or table tennis or lawn tennis or whatever it is with his friends every Friday. And now he's married to this woman who is not comfortable with the fact that he goes out every weekend. And it's possible that this lady can be the kind of person that wants to say, you know what, it is Friday. I have worked myself off Monday all the way through Friday. At least on Sunday, I should be able to sit down with my husband or with my wife. Let us have a conversation together. I also know some girls that every Saturday or every weekend, they have like what they call the ladies' night house. All these are things to declutter stress from your mind. All these are things to, to remove, just to make yourself free. I don't have any problem with all of these things, but I feel doing it the right way at the right time is what we need to learn. So now, let me come back to the example I was given before. If this is a man, for instance, that likes to go golfing with his friends on the weekend, and the wife haven't been, especially now that we have to deal with this COVID-19, our new normal right now, where a woman has to be in the house with the children all week long, and she feels like, this weekend my husband will be at home, at least I will rest. And now you've gone to work Monday through Friday. And on Saturday, that she felt like she will have some relief. You're going to golf with the boys. Of course, every woman will have a problem with this. So, one thing, like I said earlier, is the fact that having a conversation, listen to the reason why he goes out with the friends. How can we remedy this, okay? Is it a way that if we have a big space at the backyard, is it a way that we can dress up the backyard in a way that we can do barbecue that weekend and have your friends come over instead of you going over, so that way she herself will also rest? Do you understand? So I feel like listening carefully and asking for explanation is a big one. All of this I love balance, right? It's finding a way where we can balance your flaws and my flaws up, so that way we'll have a hitch-free relationship. So the third thing I'll be discussing about today will be, don't pretend, be yourself, right? Be yourself, because I've seen a lot of situations where the women are not comfortable with what the men are doing, or the men are not comfortable with what the women are doing. But in a bit to say, oh, I don't want to act like a complainer, or I don't want to be a nagging partner, they keep quiet, and this thing keeps happening over and over and over again. Now, like I always say, initially I used to be guilty of this. I used to always bottle things up, and the slightest opportunity that comes, I spark up. These things are not good. It looks like you have a tank in your tummy or in your heart where these things are just filling up little by little, day by day, hour by hour, minutes by minutes. And the moment it is full, something that might be as trivial as even a fly passing your face, you spark up, and the house becomes a war zone, right? So now, when I say being yourself is, let's say for instance, right, you're used to a certain lifestyle. You're used to a certain way you do things in your parents' house. I've discussed about this in the first tip to look out for, in that this partner of yours was not born by your parents. He is coming from a different background, and you are coming from a different background. What might be okay for your family might not be okay for his family. Like I said, I love balance. It's just all about finding a common ground where we will all agree and find a way to do things, right? Now, I will talk about an example here. Let's say, for instance, you're a lady. Before you got married, okay, your house was this one where yourself, your family, your mom, dad, all your siblings, including the girls and the boys, you guys will all go to the beach. You wear bikini even as an adult. Those things are beautiful. So what happens if you now get in a relationship, get into marriage with a man who is not comfortable with his wife wearing bikini at the beach? I feel like there's a common ground where we can all sort most of these things out. If he doesn't like bikini, it's simple. You can always get a jacket over. It's not something to kill yourself or fight over. You can always get like all these bikini suits or bikini jackets. Sorry, I don't know what it's called. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Something where you can just cover your body a little bit, so that way it might not be too exposed, or it might not be too revealing. Maybe the man doesn't feel comfortable with the fact that everyone is seeing your body. Something as simple as that can cause a lot of problems. To the man, your body is supposed to be hidden. But to you, and over the years, you've been used to going to the beach with bikini, which is not a problem, but he just doesn't want it. So I feel like there should always be a common ground as to where we can find a balance and reduce arguments in marriage. You need to hear it. I've heard of, there was this one I listened to from Lakewood Church, where the guy was the pastor was preaching, and he said something like they were arguing. The both couples were arguing. What was the argument over? Someone standing the tissue paper. Someone the husband liked the tissue paper to be standing straight in the bathroom. The wife likes it to be lying flat in the bathroom. Something as little like this can cause an argument. So I feel like finding a common ground where we can balance all these things up is key to reduce arguments in marriage. Also, while all of these are going on, I've talked about three things: communication, listening carefully, and don't pretend, be yourself. Then the last one I'll be discussing about today will be speaking calmly while responding. This particular skill, trust me, it is difficult. I believe a lot of us are still a work in progress when it comes to speaking calmly in an argument, right? Let's say, let me go back to my bikini story where the man doesn't like the woman to go to the beach wearing bikinis, right? Let's say he says, I don't like it when you wear bikini to the beach. I feel like it is too revealing. The response to me is key, irrespective of the manner in which the man tries to address it. You know, there's a difference between, I don't like you wearing bikini to the beach, and you respond by saying, or by screaming, that's your business, okay? And when he says, I don't like you wearing bikini to the beach, and you say, oh, really? That's your business. You know, there's a manner you will say it, and it's going to dampen the severity of it. So that's what I mean by saying speaking calmly while responding. I've always been big, and I've always been a firm believer of you also airing your own view, so that way, if you tell him what you feel or why you're doing it in a respectful and a calm way, I feel it will go a long way to reducing the arguments in marriage. Feel free to add to the list I've listed here, in maybe from your experiences or something you feel I was supposed to have added that I didn't add. Thank you so much for taking our time to listen to my episode today, and I'll catch you on the third episode. Have a great day.